Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Last Days of Europe with me, Avalanche, in Greater Germanic Reich. So we left off in a peculiar position last time. We finished the focus called budget renegotiations, which increased our GDP growth by 1.5% and lowered our inflation by 3.5%. It lowered the impact of the social tensions on vehicle stability, and the economic status improves moderately. So we're going to check that out soon. By the way, this is what it means. When it was speaking about stability, I actually thought it meant regime stability, but no, it means our actual stability as it is here. So yeah, this is something that we really need to look at soon. And today we're going to start with the German way. Austerity, the practice of cutting expenses and programs in order for the government to save money with the hopes of waiting out the crisis. Such methods have been used by the governments the world over for decades now, and while it certainly does lead to results, the downside is simply too great to be ignored. Germany has already suffered through years of austerity in the 50s, years of economic stagnation, of high unemployment, and steadily falling quality of life. Actually, the 30s were also austerity, and to a certain degree 40s as well. We cannot make the same mistake again, lest we slide right back into such a dire state. Germany cannot suffer the way it did. There is a better way of dealing with our economic woes, one of deals, aid, and a careful planning of the markets. By taking a proactive stance against economic failure, we shall stand stronger than ever while our rivals are forced into destructive budget cuts and financial withdrawal. When the crisis comes to a close, and one day it will, we shall find ourselves on the top of the economic world, with our enemies struggling to recover beneath us. So, unemployment, minimum wage, and pensions increase their effectiveness, and economic status improves moderately, and we get an event, Der Deutsche Weg, or the German way. So that's one thing that we ought to look into. The game keeps claiming that we got more factories. Okay, so let's look at it. I'm pretty sure that it's going to remove them. But the important part is that now we can actually design a new ship. Yeah, I'm going the right way. Yeah, production. Okay, production. So we're using two types of ships. The Theodore class, which is Admiral Raeder class heavy cruiser, or in this case cruiser or a missile cruiser, which we use as a ship of the line right now. That's kind of a testing bed for our new design. And then we have a light cruiser called S-Class, which we're using as a support craft in our fleets. So right now we will design two ships. We're going to design, T-Class then, because what comes after S, T, will use the advanced cruiser hull. Is that just, the names are a bit confusing, so let's make sure I'm looking at the right one. Yeah, advanced cruiser hull. So we'll use the advanced cruiser hull as the template, and we're gonna start. What's the difference between you and you? Just want to check. Is it the 18mm? What's the difference? That's the difference. Yeah, the cannons. Okay, cool. So we'll see how it's gonna go. First of all, let's get the advanced cruiser hull here, and we'll need to design it. So what do we have here? Okay, the best armor, secondaries. Okay, engine is gonna be changed to the cruiser nuclear reactor, because at this point is it actually even cheaper? No, it's slightly more expensive, but it gives us only benefits. So we're gonna go with the nuclear reactor. You have a radar 3, huh? Surface detection and sub-detection. And if we went with a sonar, 1970 sonar. But the subdetection isn't all that important for you, is it? Because I think that you guys actually never really focused on that much. Subdetection 6.5. Yeah, okay. So, well, we know that, you know, frigates are sub-hunters, but just wanted to make sure. Okay, and you have a battery, and we could put, oh my god, we could put a heavy battery here. So this cruiser can become a battleship basically. Okay, but we can also put the heavy cruiser battery. Speaking of which, this is actually, we probably should have invested in this research as well, because we can now, and these torpedoes and secondaries will go a long way. So we're gonna finish this soon, but I'm gonna change. Okay, you know what? Let's give you the advanced medium batteries. Yep, we're gonna do that. And we are going to switch you from attack helicopters to advanced secondaries. Okay, oh, 324 days, really? Oh, okay, so those are ahead of time. Okay, gotcha. An advanced light battery. Okay, so let's get these two out of the table before we actually go ahead and design the ship. Or we could design it and then modernize it. That's also a possibility. Because these are just, but that's such a waste. Such a waste. I think we're just gonna create a couple more frigates and be done with it. That's not such an expensive thing. So what can we do? Implement economic reform. We don't want to. We actually don't want to, because that is going to take away our... Yeah, the economy is recuperating. We need social status go up. Social tensions, curtail public meetings. No, we need now things that will improve our social standing. That's the thing that we need. So let's get rid of you. We don't need you anymore. I don't know what the effect of the economic status is. So it's kind of hard to see the effect. Okay, and we can get the stealth integration next. Perhaps no second offset technology has the sheer potential to transform air warfare as stealth. Integrating low observable and stealth aircraft into our aviation doctrine will be utterly transformative for our ability to comprehensively control the battlespace. So stealth and motor gets bonuses in air... No, actually stealth gets air defense and agility of 5%, and motor air attack and ground attack of 5%. Okay, well, sure. Why not? Yeah, of course. That's what I thought. You bastards and your changing economy. So the German way is in progress. I actually checked on the results of the fighting. It turns out that the ones that won, so Arab Republic of Egypt, Socialist Republic of Sudan, Arabian Republic, Omani Arabian Republic, and then United Republic of Arabian Gulf, and this one, the Syrian Republic, are all allies. The only one that's actually not an ally with them is the Islamic Republic of Iraq, which is standing outside of that. And it doesn't really mean much for us. I think that the effect might be that they're no longer allied with Italy. Perhaps that's the difference here. But it doesn't really benefit us, not any way that I can see. Okay, with the new effects that we took, the nominal GDP growth is now 10.14% and inflation 12.88%. So the real GDP growth is just 2.75% in minus. And the deficit is about 10%, so we are almost where we need to be. Just a bit more reduction and we'll be fine. Brute force delegates. Okay, that's actually something that... Okay, the tension's lowered, so we can brute force them. So this is wreaking havoc on our command power. But hey, we have 444 sympathizers. That's amazing. Shah of Iran assassinated. In the midst of rising unrest across the nation, the Iranian capital of Tehran has now been placed under martial law following the shock assassination of Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, targeted during a visit to the University of Tehran. The Shah was shot twice in the chest whilst walking through the campus and pronounced dead at the scene. Captured alive, state media has since declared the assassin to have been a university student radicalized by the exiled Ruhollah Khomeini. Oh, this is reminiscent of our real history. News of the Shah's death has provoked celebrity across Iran, much of the nation having turned against the Shah over his so-called White Revolution reforms. With the nation paralyzed by unrest and the military stepping in to put down rioting in several major cities, many question whether Iran's crisis-stricken government will be able to weather the storm. An uncertain future ahead. Maybe that's gonna be good for us. Who knows? And we can distribute propaganda. So let's do that. Yeah. Okay, so we are well above 0 now at 7. Economy at the recuperating 89. That is good. Okay, poverty is no longer increasing by such a huge margin. The only thing that's dropping right now is the administrative efficiency, which is bleeding out like crazy. The functional... Yeah, we were so close to getting streamlined bureaucracy, and now it's never gonna happen again. Okay, so the German way has been finished, opening more options for us. Now we can go with united response, further increase of growth and decrease in interest rates. Interest rates, really? Or this one? Okay, let's get this one first. After months of fighting, we must admit the facts. No nation alone can hold off the sheer power of this disaster. Despite our efforts, we are only able to stabilize our economy at its low point by ourselves and tenuously at that. To truly recover to pre-crisis levels, we must work together with our European brothers. The Sovereign, for its many faults and failings, has provided the perfect groundwork for continental cooperation. It will be no easy task to bind together Europe into one response. Decades of fighting and oppression have not made our job simple, but it is an undertaking that we must go through. We must work together as one, or our economy, our government, and the progress we have worked so hard for shall be in vain. So we get an event called OEN, and then we'll see what the effect is going to be. Okay, just a tad more. I wonder if the interest rate is gonna go to a negative. That can happen, and it actually did happen, but... Der Deutsche Weg. Erhard exhaustedly leaned back in his chair as Schmidt paced around the messy boardroom. Alright, we can't return to autarky, or any of the things those party morons suggest, and the people won't be satisfied in the state profit if the state profits while they remain impoverished. Erhard leaned forward. We'll have to do sweeping market reforms, make the people see that their best interests lie in the party and the state as well as the market. Schmidt stopped pacing. He seemed to have an idea. Eyeing him carefully, Erhard continued. They can be satisfied by free market reforms. They'll get richer. We'll get richer. Everyone will be happy, except those die-hard bastards in the party. You know, I have a better idea. Schmidt stared at the floor, lost in thought. What if we just did away with the NSDAP right now? They'll reject anything we propose for no reason, halting all our progress. The people can't be satisfied unless they're gone. We can't cooperate with them anymore. Erhard stared at Schmidt, thinking hard. Schmidt stared back. Erhard cleared his throat and spoke. That's insane. Do you really think those brainwashed idiots you call the people will really go along with us dissolving the thing they've been taught to base their entire lives around? Besides, do you really think that we have the power to take them down? Erhard asked. Schmidt slyly smiled at him. Erhard felt himself smile back. The boldest go the farthest, I suppose. So, economic status improves moderately. We increase investment into social funding, and inflation will decrease slightly. So let's see. Let us see. Well, at this point, I think, yeah, precarious 105. Okay, so I think that this tells us pretty understandably that it's probably from minus 200 to plus 200. Or at least that's what I expect. So hey, will you reduce the inflation or what? Maybe you won't. Well, I guess we won't. The Russian Empire declared war on the Commonwealth of Siberia. Oh, here we go. Here we go. That's what I wanted to see. So you got roughly 85 divisions. And you got roughly 80... Oh god, this is gonna be a massacre. They both have an army of roughly 850k. You got more. Oh, this is gonna be good. So, I'm taking bets. Who's gonna win? Commonwealth of Siberia or the Russian Empire? Would actually logically take the side of the Russian Empire, but on the other hand, you know, Siberia might be strong as well. Culture. Utopian socialism and a Christian conservatism. The earliest strand of its kind, utopian socialism, has been used as both a label of endearment and insult by leftists through the years. Originally pioneered in the early 18th and 19th century, utopian socialism is primarily based upon both a distinct dislike of class conflict and a belief in the perfectibility of mankind and of society in general. Whether it be through the creation of local communes, making industry more efficient through nationalization of certain goods and services, or just simply a moral belief in raising the entire society as a whole through government and local intervention, utopian socialists believe that mankind as a whole can be brought up to a higher standard of living than what capitalism can currently deliver to us. The biggest distinction between utopian socialists and their Marxist cousins is a distinct dislike of class conflict or revolution, believing instead that all classes would be willing to adhere to such a system through convincing. This places it as opposition to the materialistic worldview that Marxism and more pragmatic socialists who intend on creating working-class coalition to win power. While most utopian experiments have failed, many persist in their experiments, believing that one day a perfect system of humanity can be created and that all of mankind can bask in its glory of a newer, better world. Well, it's an interesting description. I was never expecting to hear that from the utopian socialists, but okay. And we're working on... Oh, we finished the 1970s submarine reactor. Okay, is there anything that we want to design here for submarines? Like new torpedoes or something? Advanced technical designs, torpedo attack? Nope. Doesn't seem to be degaussing. I don't really have anything here that would be that valuable, do you? Advanced heavy battery. 40cm naval gun. Piercing this. Why is this one weaker? Armored heavy piercing shell. Oh, can we get the stealth done? This is 1980. I think we're gonna start the semi-modern stealth fighter by utilizing new fight computer design as well as new advancements in radiation absorbing materials. We may now design a wide aircraft that is virtually undetectable to any radar scan. As most early warning and aircraft detection systems are based off of radar, this aircraft will be able to perform missions virtually unseen. And increase German support. The state... no, global conflicts. Yeah, let's get that. And you can see the tensions are kind of fine. There's a bit of suspicion. But the tensions are good. Okay, what about you guys? Have you finally... and the Iranian Civil War has started. Oh god. They also fractured. Okay, minus 1.9. So this decreased. So wait. The Iranian Civil War. A new page will be added to the global conflict. So the Iranian Civil War. All eyes look at the Middle East as the crumbling nation of Iran falls into chaos. Tensions has been high ever since 1953, when an oil scandal led to the assertion of the pro-German Shah Pahlavi. So he was pro-German in this case. Interesting. However, a rapidly growing population brought about instability, culminating with the Shah's assassination. Thus, Iran has fallen into a civil war. The royal government, headed by the regent Farah Pahlavi, has fortified the north in a desperate bid to halt the onslaught of Islamists, radicalized students, socialist and foreign-backed powers seeking to take over the country. This Iranian Revolutionary Alliance, an unstable Republican faction united by the goal of ending monarchism, is expected to siege Tehran within the month. Iraq, an already unstable neighbor, has become a springboard for mercenaries and a flow of arms from across the world. Bombings are a regular occurrence as an ancient nation faces its darkest hours. The Persian powder keg explodes at last. In the Iranian Civil War, Iran, our largest exporter of petroleum, has collapsed into a civil war. The monarchy was apparently shakier than we gave credit for. With the death of Shah, his widowed wife has taken over as head of the state. The many rebellious factions within Iran have taken the opportunity to use the chaos to their advantage. Baha'atists, fundamentalists, socialists, and more have taken up arms in a massive coalition to destroy the monarchy. We need our allies to come out on the top. If they lose, we will lose the right to their oil fields, which would be disastrous for our economy. The monarchists have retreated north and have holed up in the mountains, transforming their occupation into a virtual fortress. We need to make haste and send them assistance at once. They will not be able to hold indefinitely without our help. Okay, so we must secure our foreign oil reserves. A new page will be added to the Global Conflicts Decision category. So, let's see it. Okay, so there's Iran. Weapon shipments to Imperial State of Iran. Vehicle shipments. Iranisches Freiwilligenkorps. I get an event letter from Germany. Expand the Gebirgsjäger program. Create an Iranische bomber group. Fliegerverbindungsoffizier. Operation Rolande Donner. Beratergruppe für militäre Hilfe. Industrial aid. Okay. So, let's look at it. It is Imperial State of Iran. This is the Islamic Republic of Iran. Oh god, these guys are all united. Except for you guys. Farah Pahlavi, leader of Imperial State of Iran. Oh, she's beautiful. Farah Pahlavi is the Shahbanu, Empress of the Imperial State of Iran. As a daughter to wealthy parents, Farah's upbringing was a privileged one, full of opportunities that common Iranians could only dream of. She met the Shah as a student of architecture in the Reich, and they were married in opulent ceremony, which caused her country's treasury some strain. For 10 years and more, the Shah ruled over Iran, and Farah enjoyed all the glamour and luxury that was due the Empress. She was not idle during this time, working to improve the lot of Iranian women and fostering cultural initiatives. Then her world was set aflame. With her husband's death, Farah Pahlavi became regent of the imperial state, watching her country collapse into a civil war. The Shahbanu is known to favor the German language over Persian. More importantly, she represents an establishment dedicated to German-Iranian friendship and the continued provision of oil to the Reich. Now the Empress presides over a throne stained in blood as German guns and German bombers reduced her country to rubble. To the generals and Savak men who support her regency, the Empress is a stabilizing figure, the last hope that the 2,500 years monarchy will survive. The Empress herself can only watch as more and more people are butchered in her name. So you guys get some men, but this is a fairly hopeless situation. I was hoping that we could send you volunteers, but this is like we can only... Yeah, we have some volunteers, so what the hell do we need? Oh, we will be able to send one more volunteer unit too. Okay, so we'll start this next episode. We'll send them some shipments, and we're gonna send them the Freiwillige Corps. Actually, we'll probably design the Gebirgsjäger, because we need to do that, and they will be really a useful thing in here. I think that the map is very hilly, so having them there is going to be... We need to do that as fast as possible. But unfortunately, all of this costs command power, and command power is something that we keep sending to the Turkestan situation. So whoever we send there is probably going to be definitely... Yeah, we need to focus on one thing and then another. So this is our priority. This is what we're gonna do. And this we're gonna do as a side project. So we are going to go with sending volunteers there, but we'll need to design them and prepare them. And whatever we do for Iran is going to be... You have no factories, so you will be... Actually, nobody has any factories, so at least that's the same thing. So they will be dependent on our shipments. God damn it. No. Okay, we're not gonna abandon the beautiful Empress to her fate. And hopefully they will remain our friends in the future. But, oh my god, this is not a good timing. We have just lost most of the power. At least our economy is doing slightly better. And... generally speaking, even the Reich is not in such a bad situation. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining me. See you in the next episode.